Alors, bonjour. Madame la ministre de l'Industrie, ministre responsable de Développement économique Canada pour les régions du Québec, Mélanie Joly. Madame la secrétaire parlementaire de la ministre de l'Industrie, Monsieur le secrétaire parlementaire du ministre de l'Industrie, Karim Vardisi. Madame la secrétaire parlementaire de la ministre de la Santé, Maggie Chi. Monsieur l'ancien gouverneur général David Johnston. Madame la vice-présidente de la Direction des subventions de recherche et bourses du Conseil de recherche en sciences naturelles et génie du Canada, Anne-Marie Thompson. Monsieur le président des instituts de recherche en santé du Canada, Paul Hébert. Madame la vice-présidente stratégie, communication et rendement du Conseil de recherche en sciences humaines du Canada, Tara Lapointe. Monsieur le provost, vice-recteur aux affaires académiques, Jacques Beauvais. Monsieur le doyen de la Faculté des sciences, Louis Barriot. Fellow university leaders who've traveled to be with us this morning, chers professeurs et étudiants membres de notre communauté, Kwe, bonjour, good morning. Bienvenue à l'Université d'Ottawa. Welcome to the University of Ottawa. Avant de commencer, j'aimerais prendre quelques minutes pour rendre hommage au peuple algonquin, gardien traditionnel de cette terre. Nous reconnaissons le lien sacré de longue date, l'unissant à ce territoire qui demeure non cédé. We pay respect to all Indigenous people in this region from all nations across Canada who call Ottawa home. We acknowledge the traditional knowledge keepers, both young and old, and we honor their courageous leaders, past, present, and future. Nous sommes réunis ce matin pour souligner l'importance de soutenir la relève scientifique à un moment charnière de l'histoire de notre pays et du monde. C'est un enjeu qui trouve tout naturellement sa place à l'Université d'Ottawa. The University of Ottawa is a unique institution with a distinct identity rooted in an extraordinary ecosystem. We are Canada's only bilingual, research-intensive university. Located in the heart of the national capital, the University of Ottawa is a place of power and leadership at the intersection of science, commerce, and policy. Chaque année, nos chercheurs et chercheuses génèrent plus d'1 demi-milliard de dollars en revenus de recherche, ce qui nous place au 5e rang en intensité de recherche au Canada. We are world leaders in photonics, medicine and life sciences, environmental science and the Arctic, as well as law and public and international affairs. We are intentionally building the interdisciplinary expertise required to lead in areas where Canada must compete globally. Therefore, our focus is not only on research excellence, but on translating research into real-world impact for Canada and our partners. Ce rôle est d'autant plus important que notre monde traverse des transformations profondes et accélérées en santé, changement climatique, en intelligence artificielle et souveraineté technologique. Pour relever ces défis, les pays ont besoin d'écosystèmes de recherche solides, fondés sur la collaboration entre les universités, les gouvernements, l'industrie et les partenaires internationaux. Canada's leading research-intensive universities are central to this effort because they anchor the continuum of innovation, from discovery and knowledge creation to talent development, commercialization, and societal impact. By attracting exceptional researchers and preparing the next generations of scholars, leaders, and innovators, our universities help shape not only the future of science, but also the competitiveness and prosperity of our communities and this country. The University of Ottawa is extremely proud to contribute to this national effort. This morning, we are pleased to welcome partners and leaders who play an essential role in advancing research in Canada by supporting researchers and emerging scholars. I would now like to invite Maggie Chi, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Health, to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. It's a real pleasure to be here at the University of Ottawa alongside Minister Joly, MP Vardisi, my good friend here. Healthcare is one of the fastest growing sectors in Canada. It supports more than 3.5 million jobs across the country and represents roughly 15% of our workforce here in Canada. And when we talk about healthcare, we're not talking about hospitals. We're not only talking about hospitals or services. We're talking about one of Canada's greatest strengths. This is a sector that drives innovation, creates high-quality jobs, and improves lives while also strengthening our economy. Because healthy Canadians are foundational to a strong and resilient country. But we also know our healthcare system is facing real pressures, and meeting those challenges will require new ideas, new discoveries, and the talent capable of driving that forward. That is why since 2016, our government has invested more than $22 billion in science, research, and innovation, supporting fundamental research, emerging technologies like AI and quantum, world-class research facilities, and the next generation of Canadian researchers. It is also why last fall, we announced $1.7 billion to attract leading researchers, scientists, and top global talents to Canada. Today's announcement builds on that work. The Canada Impact Plus Research Training Awards are designed to attract exceptional doctoral, postdoctoral researchers to Canada and supports them as they pursue world-class research in areas that are critical to our future. But this is more than just recruitment. It is about building long-term capacity here in Canada and ensuring our research institutions remain globally competitive and deeply connected to the best ideas and talents in the world. And when we invest in outstanding researchers and trainees, we're investing in discoveries that will shape our economy, strengthen our institutions, and improve the lives of Canadians for generations to come. Some of the clearest examples of the impact can be found in health research. Scientific discoveries has transformed how we prevent, diagnose, and treat disease. It's improved patient outcomes, strengthened public health systems, and changed lives. And by supporting Canadian institutions, investing in researchers, that is exactly what Canada is doing by attracting global talent and strengthening our research base for the future. And it is now my great pleasure to introduce my good friend and colleague, the Honourable Mélanie Joly, Minister of Industry and Minister responsible for Canada Economic Development for Quebec Regions. Minister Joly.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie, for your kind introduction and all the work you're doing, working with our friend and colleague Marjorie Michel, the Minister of Health. You guys are a very strong duo and showing leadership in a very important moment. Of course, I would like to also acknowledge the presence of my fantastic parliamentary secretary, who's been working with many of you on the research front, Karim Bardesi. Karim will be talking after me, mais je voulais juste te dire merci du fin fond du cœur. Je sais que tu travailles énormément sur ce dossier-là, puis tu fais de l'excellent travail. Also, there are two other folks that everywhere I go, they're following me. The two, they're a trio, actually. One of them can't be with us today, Eddie Goldenberg. Eddie is a really, really good friend. And we're sending him a lot of good energy. But I know that Alan Bernstein and David Johnson, thank you for being here. I know you were at the core of creating this entire initiative, and without you, we would not have been able to develop our global talent attraction strategy. So thank you so much. Thank you. I think they're worth a round of applause. So, around the world, researchers are searching for places where they can pursue ambitious ideas, collaborate openly, and build meaningful careers. And Canada is proud to be one of those places, home to a research ecosystem defined by excellence, openness, and opportunity. And obviously, we see this here, et on le voit avec le leadership de la fantastique Marie-Ève Sylvestre. Our universities are world-class, our researchers are exceptional, and at a time where some countries are turning away from science, Canada is choosing a different path. We're choosing to stand firmly with science, with evidence, and with discovery, and to recognize that research is not optional or secondary, It is actually a core pillar of Canada's strength. We're investing in our research and Canadian talent because in a more complex and uncertain world, our ability to generate knowledge at home and develop our own expertise will be essential to our sovereignty and our future. And that commitment is what positions Canada as a safe haven for science, a country where ideas are protected and where academic freedom is respected. Et donc, dans un contexte où certains pays choisissent de tourner leur dos à la science, le Canada fait exactement le contraire. Nous faisons le choix d'investir dans le talent, dans la recherche et dans les technologies qui vont définir notre souveraineté économique. Parce que le Canada est un refuge pour la science, un pays où la recherche est protégée et où nous croyons profondément en la recherche et en sa capacité à améliorer la vie des gens. C'est pourquoi, dans le budget de 2025, nous avons lancé notre stratégie d'attraction de talent, un investissement de 1,7 milliard de dollars sur 12 ans pour attirer les meilleurs talents en recherche au pays et renforcer la position du Canada dans la course mondiale à l'innovation. Et aujourd'hui, nous franchissons une étape concrète. The Canada Impact Plus Research Training Awards are a cornerstone of this vision. And today, I am proud to announce the first cohort of its recipient. The Government of Canada has offered 659 awards to doctoral students and postdoctoral researchers from 72 countries. 1/3 of the nominees are from the United States, while the remaining come from across Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe and Australia. Et aujourd'hui, je suis vraiment fière de faire l'annonce de la première cohorte de récipiendaires. Le gouvernement du Canada a offert 659 prix à des doctorants et des chercheurs postdoctoraux provenant de 72 pays. Un tiers vient des États-Unis, le reste vient de l'Asie, de l'Afrique, de l'Amérique du Nord, de l'Amérique du Sud, de l'Europe et de l'Océanie. Thank you. It's because of all the work done by all the universities and the Research Council, and I know that many of you, Paul, merci. I know Mitch is not here, but all of you have worked extremely hard, so thank you. These researchers will advance work in fields that are essential not only to our future prosperity, but to our national resilience, from artificial intelligence to biotech to defense innovation. And this is only the beginning. Soon, we'll be announcing the first Canada Impact Plus research chairs, further strengthening Canada's position as a global destination for top research talent. But this moment is also a signal of confidence in Canada's direction. To researchers around the world, Canada is open, stable, and ready to lead. We welcome your ideas, your ambition, and your drive to push the boundaries of what is possible. And to Canadian researchers abroad, time is to come home. And so, help build a stronger, more self-reliant Canada. Bring your expertise back to a country that is investing in you, backing your work, and betting on your success. And so the talent attraction strategy reaffirms Canada's place as a global science and innovation leader, and of course, one that is strong, sovereign, stable, and open to the world. Because when we invest in research, we invest in people, in idea, and in the future strength of our country. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. And now, with further ado, it's my pleasure to present the Extraordinary Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Industry, Karen Bardisi.
Merci, Madame la Ministre. C'est un très grand plaisir de faire ce travail avec vous et votre ambition pour le Canada, pour nos chercheurs, pour une histoire à raconter aux Canadiens, aux Canadiennes et au monde que nous sommes ouverts et que nous allons saisir cette occasion avec un grand engagement, un des plus grands engagements du gouvernement dans le budget qui vient de sortir, et pour construire un édifice d'engagement dans les années qui précèdent concernant les investissements. And I think These numbers can sound impressive, and they are impressive, but they are also individual stories. Chacune de ces 659 bourses de formation représente un choix. Celui d'un chercheur, une chercheure qui, après avoir exploré toutes les options aux 4 coins du monde, après beaucoup d'appels à la famille, beaucoup de Zoom, beaucoup de conversations, ont choisi le Canada. Et ils ont choisi le Canada, oui, attirés par ce programme, bien sûr, mais aussi par faire bâtir le Canada, faire partie d'une équipe, une famille de recherche au Canada, qui est à ce moment-ci très attirante. Et ces chercheurs sont ici sur les épaules des autres. N'importe où que je vais au Canada, je vois des chercheurs, les étudiants doctoraux, postdoctoraux de l'international. Ils viennent, comme la ministre a dit, de tous les coins au monde. Et nous, comme pays, nous les recevons d'une façon sans pareil, à mon avis. Et on l'a fait depuis des générations, les générations de chercheurs, de cliniciens, rechercheurs, d'immigrants qui ont choisi le Canada, qui ont bâti ces institutions, qui ont fait les choix comme on demande les chercheurs d'aujourd'hui à faire. Les chercheurs cliniciens comme mon père qui a fait le choix pour le Canada il y a plus que 50 ans au lieu de choisir les États-Unis. And so we have this welcoming way in Canada of bringing in international doctoral and postdoctoral students in particular and bringing them right into the research enterprise. And so many of our universities are populated by formerly international students who are now building these great institutions and bringing these great results. And this program is a more targeted and strategic approach to building research capacity, one that deliberately aligns world-class talent with Canada's priority areas and long-term national objectives. There are 8 program areas, 8 thematic areas in this program. And they actually map very closely. You'll see our government has a number of national strategies to develop the economy in our society, the auto strategy, our defense strategy, our electricity strategy, our nature strategy, critical mineral strategy. There's going to be a forthcoming food strategy. All these strategies are going to benefit from the insights that the researchers who are coming in this program will bring. And we moved quickly. I know there's some people in the university community who said you moved too quickly, but we needed to move as quickly as possible to seize this opportunity and to test the university community, to say, if you're ready, we are ready, and we're going to move with a special dispatch. And there's a special thank you not only to the folks in our departments, but also to the Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, who have working with great dispatch to make sure we do this in a secure way, but in a fast way. And we indeed move fast because this is an opportunity for Canada to build Canada strong. The Canadians who are returning home, welcome. We know that you have sharpened your skills. We know you have had special benefits from being outside the country. As the Minister said, it's time to come home to build Canada strong. Avec ce programme de formation et avec tout le programme de recherche qui inclut Impact Plus, mais aussi les investissements en sciences et recherche et les sciences humaines et les humanités du budget de 2024. Cette annonce, c'est une déclaration d'intention que nous sommes ouvertes, que nous sommes ambitieuses et que le Canada est prêt. And today's announcement is a perfect demonstration of that. And with that, I'd like to welcome a leader in an organization that's key to helping deliver this, Anne-Marie Thompson, VP of Research at Grants and Scholarships for the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, to the stage.
Hello and thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here today for this momentous announcement. Thank you to Minister Joly, PS Bardisi, and PS Chi, and the University of Ottawa as well for hosting us to mark this important research talent funding initiative. Le succès du Canada dans tous les domaines de recherche repose depuis toujours sur les talents des membres qui viennent de chaque discipline. From northern research to ocean science, from regenerative medicine to sustainable agriculture, Canada's researchers turn their passions into expertise that strengthen our economy, protect our environment, and enhance our quality of life. Le talent est l'une des ressources les plus précieuses au monde, celle qui permettra d'assurer la prospérité future de notre pays. With today's $84.3 million investment, Canada is bringing more than 650 of the world's best and brightest doctoral students and postdoctoral researchers from around the globe to add to their talent to our stellar research community and secure our position as a global innovation leader. Les innovations canadiennes ont préparé la voie à une nouvelle ère marquée par le progrès. Les investissements annoncés aujourd'hui nous permettront de suivre le rythme de l'innovation et des découvertes et qui s'accélère de jour à jour. Je tiens à remercier la ministre et ses collègues d'avoir réalisé des investissements de cette ampleur et d'avoir agi résolument pour les mettre en œuvre rapidement. This has been a major international research talent recruitment drive, among the largest of its kind internationally, and was designed for rapid delivery, as PS Bardisi just emphasized. So, of course, being in one of the granting councils, along with my colleagues from the Canadian Institutes of Health Research and the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, as well as from NSERC at Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council, along with our colleagues at the Canada Foundation for Innovation, we rallied together very, very quickly to deliver this in a very timely fashion. And we're proud of that, and we're really proud to deliver this kind of result for Canada and Canadians. Today's investment gives Canada a strong pipeline of talent to sustain our momentum in discovery and innovation well into the future. Thank you to everyone who has played a role in realizing this achievement, and congratulations to all of the award recipients. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Emilio Alacron, a full professor here in the Department of Biochemistry, Microbiology, and Immunology, and a principal investigator at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute. His laboratory is supported by both CIHR and NSERC, and he will talk to us now about why he has nominated a talented researcher as part of this initiative. Merci.
Okay, so thank you so much for the invitation. I have my notes in here, but I think I need a software to do all the convolution to understand them. That was a joke for physicists in the room. And, there you go, you see. I was told I have 3 minutes, so I'm going to time myself up. So, bonjour, good morning, buenos dias, mari mari. So you say good morning in 4 different languages that illustrate the diversity we have in here in this country. The last one is the Mapuzungun. It's the language of the people from Chile, the Mapuches. I never got the chance to learn that because of colonialism. But today I'm honoring them. Being 10,000 kilometers away from the place I was born, I'm very honored to be here. So my voice is their voice too. So as an immigrant myself, who first came to Canada, funded by an NSERC Create grant, that now I'm director of what that grant actually completed full circle. I'm well aware of how transformational attracting talent is for our country. We live in times where diversity is under scrutiny. However, we scientists understand very well that diversity makes science better and stronger. Not to mention, it grounds our mission, our role in society, and also connects us to our communities. When people ask me, how do I do it to work in the largest bilingual university in the planet while living with a hidden disability, I said that Ottawa is a place where we share not only our knowledge, but also the ways, the lands, and also our different ways of life. Just the same way that the guardians of the territories we live and play, the Algonquin and Anishinaabe, in here we have their flag, told once the first settlers who came here, share the lands, respect the different ways, and we do it. In my team, I did this exercise. We speak over 50 different languages. That is a clear illustration of the diversity. And beyond speaking different languages, we share not only our stories, but the stories of those who came before us, our ancestors. And that makes our science better. That makes our spaces where everyone can participate and can be who they are. Let's never forget that the most important discovery any scientist can make in their lifetime is not found in a paper or a patent, but is found in discovering other scientists. And we have forgotten that through the process. But here in Canada, we do it, and we do it very well. And thanks to these amazing awards, we will bring some of the most brilliant minds to Canada, so they will learn the ways we do things. Canadians, they're more than Americans than with free healthcare system. We are our people. We are diversity. We coexist and share the lands, and share more than that, share values that are much needed in the current geopolitical scenario. So I cannot leave the podium without thanking everyone who made this possible, for those who provided the money, but also those who enabled this happening, particularly Andre Buchanan. Your office was fantastic, and all the different faculties for their hard work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Alarcon. Emilio is one of our stars, so that's no surprise that he was able to recruit some of the world-class students. Professor Alarcon, your journey, your commitment to academic excellence, and your support for emerging international scholars reflect the kind of leadership that helps strengthen our research ecosystem and Canada's future. Alors, j'aimerais tout d'abord remercier la ministre Mélanie Joly pour sa vision et son leadership extraordinaire, ainsi que pour l'ambition qu'elle manifeste pour l'avenir de notre pays. Donc, merci. En donnant aux universités les moyens d'attirer les meilleurs talents internationaux, de former, de soutenir la relève scientifique dans les 2 langues officielles, elle contribue à positionner le Canada comme leader mondial dans la recherche et l'innovation. Thank you, Minister, for your extraordinary leadership. I also want to thank the Tri-Council, who have been and are extraordinary partner in this ecosystem, for their collaboration, for their leadership, and for the speed at which things are moving these days. Les résultats obtenus par l'Université d'Ottawa dans cette première phase du concours témoignent de l'excellence et de l'ambition de notre recherche, ainsi que de la force de nos collaborations, ici comme à l'international. Il confirme notre capacité à attirer des talents exceptionnels et à bâtir les partenariats qui transforment la recherche en retombées concrètes pour notre pays. The University of Ottawa is thrilled to welcome 17 doctoral scholarships and 10 postdoctoral fellowships awarded to our institution. Together, they represent the 7th largest allocation in Canada and will support impactful research across the sciences, engineering, medicine, and the social sciences. The selected candidates come from 16 different countries, a reflection of both the international reach of our institution and its growing appeal to emerging talent from all around the world. Graduate students and postdoctoral students at the University of Ottawa and many other universities across Canada advance knowledge every day in our labs, research centers, and scholarly communities. Their work is crucial to shaping the discoveries, the innovations, and the public policies that will influence our societies for years to come. Alors, j'inviterai maintenant la ministre Mélanie Joly ainsi qu'Anne-Marie Thompson, vice-présidente de la Direction des subventions de recherche et bourses du CRSNG, à venir sur la scène pour répondre aux questions des journalistes. Après la séance de questions, nous prendrons une photo de groupe et ferons ensuite une courte visite de nos installations de recherche. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Gabrielle with Minister Joly's team will take a few questions. It's going to be 1 question, 1 follow-up. We have short of 15 minutes today for a scrum. We'll take the questions in English and French. Please state your name and your media outlet and to who your question is directed at. Thank you very much.
Bonjour, Estelle Côté-Sroca de Radio-Canada. La question est pour vous. Madame Joly, je vous demanderai de répondre en français et en anglais. Oui. Est-ce que M. Carney se rend à New York parce qu'il ne peut pas se rendre à Washington pour des négociations?
Je pense que M. Carney est en contact constant avec le président Trump. Et ils ont l'occasion de se voir à différents endroits à travers le monde. Et certainement au G7 en France sous peu. Entre-temps, le Premier ministre Carney est à New York pour parler à des investisseurs, pour être capable aussi de trouver plusieurs alliés aux États-Unis alors que la révision de l'ALENA va s'entamer sous peu, à partir du mois de juillet. Et nous serons plusieurs ministres déployés partout à travers les États-Unis pour justement parler avec le milieu des affaires et parler avec différents milieux qui sont clés, parce qu'on sait qu'au final, on doit être capable d'avoir des alliés aux États-Unis qui vont pouvoir plaider la cause du Canada parce qu'il y a tellement d'emplois qui sont liés au commerce entre le Canada et les États-Unis, que ce soit aux États-Unis ou au Canada. So in English, what I would say is Prime Minister Carney is in contact with President Trump constantly, and also they have met each other around the world, and they will be meeting each other very soon, as the G7 will be hosted in France in June, so very shortly. Why Prime Minister Carney is in New York right now is because he wanted to speak to investors, to attract more investments to Canada, but also in a context where the USMCA, CUSMA, will be starting its own revision by July 1st. We need to be able to talk to many allies across the U.S. Many of us ministers will be deployed across the U.S. as well to be talking to the private sector and different communities across the country. We know that we're stronger together when we work on protecting and creating jobs, because so many jobs are linked to our trade between both countries, may jobs be in Canada or in the US. And so I think it's a very sound decision to actually be able to talk to key investors in New York.
Vous évoquez la date du 1er juillet, date butoir pour la révision de l'ACO, mais est-ce qu'on sait quand exactement les négociations vont commencer? On sait que le Mexique, lui, c'est imminent, là. Il va y avoir 3 cycles de négociations.
Il est vrai que nous avons plusieurs communications avec les Américains. D'ailleurs, mon collègue Dominique Leblanc est en discussion, en rencontre avec Jamieson Greer récemment, en fait cette semaine, mais je vous dirais que toutes les questions liées à la négociation en soi de l'ALENA doivent être dirigées vers mon collègue Dominique Leblanc qui pourra répondre davantage à vos questions. Moi, ce que je peux vous dire par contre, c'est que nous sommes en conversation aussi et en relation avec plusieurs entreprises aussi aux États-Unis, que ce soit dans le secteur de l'automobile, que ce soit dans le secteur de l'acier, que ce soit dans le secteur de l'aluminium ou de le secteur de la forêt. Pourquoi? Parce que ce sont des secteurs qui sont impactés par les tarifs.
English?
So, when it comes to the July 1st date, it's an important date, we know that. And Minister LeBlanc, who's in charge of the file, can answer your questions more directly. But what I can say is Minister LeBlanc has been having key conversations this week and even meetings with Jamieson Greer, the representative of President Trump for trade. And at the same time, on my side, I've been in contact with many companies and private sector leaders in the auto sector, in the steel, aluminum, and forestry sectors that are deeply impacted by the tariffs, maybe, of course, in Canada, but also on the other side of the border.
Good morning, Minister. Kate McKenna from CBC. If we could have the answers in French and English, we'd appreciate that. Canada's former chief trade negotiator, Steve Verhoeven, was critical of the Canadian government at a Senate committee yesterday, saying that the trade relationship is pretty firmly stuck and that Canada is not really pursuing diversification that's going to lead to meaningful change in the manufacturing industry. What's your response to that?
Well, I think that first and foremost, we in 2025 we're much more in reaction mode when it came to the trade war and the tariffs. In 2026, we have a plan and we're putting it into place. And so in these circumstances, our goal is really to build Canada strong. So you're seeing major projects going ahead. We were elected and cabinet was formed nearly a year ago, and we were already able to announce key projects. Part of our major projects may be Nouveau Monde Graphite, which is a key critical minerals mine in Quebec, the biggest, actually one of the biggest in the Western world. And at the same time, we were able to announce for the first time a long-term contract for LNG going to Germany at a time where there is an energy crisis, particularly in Europe. And so I think diversification is happening. At the same time, we are really following through the different strategies we've announced. So yes, we announced our auto strategy. Yes, we announced a defense industrial strategy, but we know that we're in implementation mode. We know that Canadians need to be able to have access to the different programs we're announcing and the different funding we're announcing, because ultimately the rubber needs to hit the road. So the best example I can give you actually is our new defense industrial strategy, which is $500 billion, which is a huge amount of money, to create 125,000 new jobs. Well, yesterday, the Prime Minister announced something we've been working a lot on over the past year, which was a new cooperation between SAB and Bombardier to create 3,000 new jobs in the country, and being able to have new plants in Canada to be able to sell these surveillance planes made out of a global Bombardier jet, but also militarized with SAB's equipment, to more than 40 planes to many NATO countries across the alliance. So that's good news. That is actually implementing our plan. So I look forward to talking to Steve and being able to give him different examples, but also hearing his thoughts, because, you know, we need to work together and really bring people along, as they may have different visions of how we can build the country. And I know that he's very knowledgeable, and I look forward to having that conversation with him. En français? Ça, c'est long. OK, on recommence. Donc, il va de soi que la diversification du pays, de l'économie du Canada est importante. On a été élu et le cabinet a été formé il y a à peu près 1 an, et on a développé beaucoup de stratégies. Là, présentement, on est dans la mise en œuvre de ces stratégies-là. Et je pense que les résultats se font connaître peu à peu, au fur et à mesure où on annonce des initiatives en lien avec les différentes stratégies qu'on a annoncées. Que ça soit, par exemple, la nouvelle mine de minerais critiques, Nouveau Monde Graphite, qui a été annoncé au Québec il y a 2 semaines, que ce soit le port de Contrecœur, port de Montréal, que ce soit le fait qu'on est capable maintenant de fournir l'Allemagne, qui en a grandement besoin dans cette crise énergétique, du GNL à partir de la Colombie-Britannique. Tout ça sont des exemples de la mise en œuvre de notre vision pour bâtir un Canada fort au niveau des grands projets. Mais aussi, je vous dirais que hier, on a vu notre stratégie industrielle de la défense à l'œuvre. C'est-à-dire qu'on a été capable d'annoncer une transaction, une initiative sur laquelle on travaille depuis des mois, que je travaille depuis des mois avec mes collègues, c'est-à-dire un partenariat entre SAB et Bombardier pour la création de 3000 emplois. Donc, c'est vraiment le fait qu'il va y avoir une usine SAB Bombardier qui va être implantée au pays, et aussi, il va y avoir toute la chaîne d'approvisionnement qui va pouvoir en bénéficier. Donc, je comprends que Steve a plusieurs points de vue. Ça me fait plaisir d'avoir une conversation avec lui. Je pense qu'on doit être capable de prendre toutes les propositions, les suggestions. Mais je pense que cette diversification doit avoir lieu. On essaie d'aller le plus vite possible, mais veut pas, après 1 an, je pense qu'on voit déjà les résultats, on peut en être fiers.
Just to follow up, the Prime Minister, as you know, is in New York today. What parts of his agenda can't proceed or cannot proceed unless Canada attracts more direct foreign investment?
Well, so we can be proud of being the country within the G7 that has been able to attract the most foreign direct investment per capita in the last year, one of the highest levels since the last 20 years, so that's good news. And I think what investors are looking around the world, and what I've been hearing based on my conversations with many of them, is that we're a stable country. We're able to respect our word, and when we look investors in the eyes and we shake hands, well, we'll follow the deal. And at the same time, we're creating the conditions to go faster, that we cut red tape, that we're able to bring people along when it comes to major projects, particularly with Indigenous people, that we're able to bring them at the negotiation table, offer them real opportunities of development and economic impact for and ownership and equity in projects, and that we can do things in a way that are equitable while going at a pace that we've not seen in the last year. So that's what we're working on. Thank you.
Hi, Minister. David Reevely from The Logic. When I talk to academic leaders about the difficulty in recruiting talent, they talk about two things. One is funding, which you're addressing today. The other is immigration. And particularly how difficult it is under the current system to get mid-career academics, no matter how brilliant they are, often just because of their ages. The president of the University of Toronto said basically they wouldn't have been able to attract Jeffrey Hinton under the current immigration model. So what's the government doing about that end of things?
So what we did, and we highlighted actually in the news release in the NR, so obviously David will give it to you with pleasure. We've developed a clear channel at Immigration Canada to really fast track the demands that are linked to this historic initiative. So in that sense, we knew that was going to be raised, and we didn't want it to be a problem. So that's why we've worked with universities and colleges to be able not only for them to make the offers, not only for them to work with the granting councils to have access to the funding, but also for immigration to be on board and go faster. So check. And give me any other questions. I'm ready.
We're running out of time, unfortunately.
It's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, David.
Okay, merci.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to stay on the podium, near the podium for a picture.
Okay, we'll take a picture. Yep.